Welcome to Body Bags. I'm your Thursday reviewer, Chris, from Chrisb Movies. My name is Chris, and I love B movies. And I just want to say that I've been a huge fan of Body Bags for a very long time, and I am just honored to be part of this wonderful team of awesome reviewers. I'll be taking over for Sinister One for a while, who's a fantastic reviewer. I wish you the best, buddy, and I'm going to make you proud. James C., thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I 100% appreciate it. And thank you, DBougie86, for recommending me. Always there to answer a question, always there to be a good buddy. Thank you so much for all your support. And thanks to all the wonderful reviewers here at Body Bags who have opened their arms to me and helped me get started. So thank you all, guys, and I'm ready to go. And there's no better way to start it off than with the godfather of gore. The godfather we like to call the splatter film, Herschel Gordon Lewis. And I'm going to be reviewing a film from 1963, and it is called Blood Feast. And I watched the Blu-ray from the incredible Herschel Gordon Lewis Feast box set, and it looks better than it's ever looked before. Thank you, Arrow, for this. So I'm going to start off with the synopsis of Blood Feast, okay? So we're in Miami, and this Egyptian immigrant, Fuad Ramses, owns a very successful catering business. Now, Fuad Ramses also likes to murder young women, decapitating arms, legs, gouging out eyeballs, ripping out tongues. That tongue scene is amazing. Tearing out hearts. And what he does, he puts it in this bag. And he brings it to his little catering building business, and he puts it in the back room, where he has body parts and pots and pans and all over the place. Now, he calls the beginning stages of getting ready for the ultimate blood feast, I call it evidence. So what he's trying to do with all these body parts is he's trying to create a blood feast that has not been seen since 5,000 years ago in an effort to feed and resurrect the Egyptian goddess Ishtar. So he's looking for a forum to do that. So Miss Fremont comes into his catering business, and she wants to have an exotic Egyptian meal for her daughter Suzette's big bash. So, while she's asking him questions, he kinda, ridiculously, stares at her and puts her in a trance. So he can solidify the deal, so that way he can cater Suzette's big Egyptian exotic feast. Now let's talk about Suzette for a little bit. Suzette is really big into ancient Egyptian lore and ancient Egyptian rituals. She's part of this book club that studies on stuff like that. And the main book in that book club is written by Fuad Ramses himself. Who'da thunk it, huh? So what Mrs. Fremont thinks is going to be a wonderful gala of exotic foods to surprise her daughter Suzette. Fuad plans on creating the ultimate blood feast, decapitating more bodies, ripping out more organs, putting it on the table in order to feed and have this ultimate ritual sacrifice to revive the ancient goddess Ishtar, so that he and Ishtar can spend an eternity together in this world. And of course, wreak havoc, because, that's very important. So also, one thing to note, they never hide who the killer is. Fuad Ramses is the killer. You see it with your own eyeballs, not the popped out ones that Fuad likes to rip out of your eyes. Okay? But there's two detectives. Mason, played by a guy named Scott Hall. If you're a wrestling fan, dun 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 dun. But no, not that Scott Hall. Scott Hall that Herschel Gordon Lewis uses in Blood Feast, okay? And Thomas Wood, who plays Pete, the detective. Now, Thomas Wood was also in 2000 Maniacs, which is a movie I freaking love. Love to death. And Thomas Wood's probably the best actor in this whole film. So these two detectives are trying to find out, get clues to find out who's killing all these women. But we know, but they don't. But will they make it to the evidence room? Will they make it to that evidence room? Because if they do, they'll find they'll find who the real killer is. And that killer, we all know it, is Fuad Ramses. Okay, so that's basically the synopsis of the film. If you're watching this, you've probably seen this film 1,000 times, and you're probably loving it like I do. It's cheesy as heck. The dialogue is hammy, but it's so much fun. Things I found incredibly funny. Fuad Ramses has a limp, so he can't walk or run very fast. And there's an end chase scene where these cops, it starts off with 2, ends up with 4, have a difficult time catching him. And he doesn't move very fast. And it looks like the cops are deliberately running slow so as to not catch him, because the movie states they can't catch him. It's hysterical. It's hysterical. He's not moving fast. These 2 young cops start off, then 2 more join in, and they still can't catch him. Now, when Fuad Ramses meets his demise, it's hysterical. You look closely at his face. His eyes are bulged, and his mouth is open just a little bit, and you hear, ah! Ah! Unless he's a ventriloquist, he will never be able to pull that off. And another thing. So Suzette and Pete, the detective, they have a little thing going, like the beginning stages of a love connection. Okay? But one scene, and I didn't catch this before, he doesn't call her Susie, he doesn't call her Suzette, he calls her Cindy. Herschel either was too lazy that day or just never got it, or I don't know. But it is hysterical. And the trance scene where Fuad Ramses puts Mrs. Fremont in a trance, that is so hammy. His eyes bulge, and he's like, it is hysterical. Hysterical. So those are some of the things, the main things I found hysterical with the film. Now, disturbing. Okay, check this out. Suzette and Pete, like I say, have a love connection going on. But there's only one problem. Pete looks to be exponentially a whole lot older than Suzette. He looks old enough to be her father. So there's a scene where they're both at a seminar dealing with ancient lore and ancient rituals, and it ends. And Suzette says to Pete, I gotta call Mama for a ride. It's getting late. And you know what happens when it gets late and it gets dark? And he's like, don't worry about it. I'll give you a ride home. So instead of driving her to her house, Pete the detective, the one who's trying to find Fuad Ramses the killer, pulls in and parks his car at a park area. And so she's like, Suzette's like, I really gotta get home. It's getting dark and the killer's out. So he's like, the killer's not gonna do anything. You're with a cop. And all of a sudden he starts like embracing her, and she starts pushing him away, and he starts embracing her, and she starts pushing him away. And so finally he backs off, and he looks at her. He's like, ooh, the things I could do to you right now. Creepy as hell. That's the guy that's going to try to track the killer. And he's just as creepy as the killer. Unbelievable blood feast. It was the first Herschel Gordon Lewis film I saw, and it holds a special place in my heart. As Herschel Gordon Lewis said himself, and he did say this, well, the acting's not good, but the gore is amazing. And I do say the gore is quite choice. Herschel Gordon Lewis has taken blood, guts, and gore and turned it into virtual art forms in movies like Blood Feast, The Wizard of Gore, The Gore Girls. Well, if you've seen one or two or all of the Herschel Gordon Lewis films, you know what I'm talking about, okay? So what I am going to do right now is I'm going to rate this film. And I have something called the Cheeseometer. 5 to 1, or 1 to 5, however you want to look at it. 5 being so utterly cheesy that it's the best damn cheese you're ever gonna see and want. 1 being so utterly cheesy that it's just not that good cheese. It's the low budget grade cheese. Okay? I rated it a 4.5. I love this film to death. The gore is amazing. This film on the Blu-ray, on the set, is the best it's ever looked, and the best it's ever gonna look. In my humble opinion. So I just want to say thanks for watching. Thank you, everybody, for giving me this wonderful opportunity and welcoming me with open arms. And I plan on having a great time here reviewing films at Body Bag. So thanks for watching. Check in next Thursday. And don't forget to watch those late night horror movies. Read up on your latest Fright Mags. But don't forget to tune in to another episode of...